At times, it seems like there may be no hope for Mississippians.
Mississippi can do a lot. Mississippi is a state, you know, with the highest obesity rate in the country.
People in Mississippi have gotten where they don't pay attention to that anymore. We're so used to hearing we're the worst that every time a new ranking comes out, people just almost ignore it. It's like, yeah, we know where Mississippi is.
I don't want them to, you know, her to grow up and then she have health complications, and I don't want to lose my child at an early age.
That we're destined to be obese and unhealthy, and that this really will be the first generation of children whose lives will be shorter than those of their parents. But there are bright spots in our state, people and organizations who are working hard to change Mississippi's future, starting with the Mississippi Healthy Schools Act, one of the most aggressive actions being taken in any state in the nation. The program requires schools and students to take an active role in their own health. It has three main parts: nutrition, exercise, and health education. It requires 150 minutes per week of physical education, kindergarten through 8th grade. It also requires students to get health nutrition education, 45 minutes a week for younger students, and at least a semester of health classes for high school students. And there is no denying the results.
We know from some of our work with the schools that, for instance, children who are fit have higher test scores. Well, the opposite is true. Children who are not fit have lower test scores. So they do poorly in school. They don't grow up to have jobs and aren't productive citizens, particularly if they get chronic disease and they end up on dialysis, or they end up being disabled or die early.
Some Mississippi schools are fully embracing the Healthy Schools Act. One in particular is Walz Elementary in Walz, Mississippi, near the Tennessee state line. In fact, the whole DeSoto County School District is inspiring.
It started with our superintendent. He had a vision of really improving the overall health and wellness of his students. He understands the importance of exercise, of good nutrition.
A formerly overweight man himself, DeSoto County Superintendent Milton Kirkendall knew firsthand what it would take to get his students in shape. But with the help of innovative teachers and plenty of superb grant writing, the school district is setting examples and winning awards. From convotherm ovens, which make baked foods taste like fried foods, to school nurses, to new playgrounds, the school district has completely committed itself to wellness and fitness.
The comprehensive program that we've developed in our school district is called Eat Right and Play More. And that's it in a nutshell. Encourage more physical activity. Encourage them to make better food choices. Let it go across the curriculum. Have them write essays about healthy snacks and ways to make better food choices. Again, that costs nothing. That's simply doing our job as educators.
Some of the changes made across the school district have been simple but ingenious. Others, just plain smart.
Our coaches act as personal trainers for teachers, and they have after-school exercise classes, and they go in the weight room. We have school health councils at every school. They meet with administrators and teachers and students, and parents are involved to assess each school, see what we can do, again, to eat right, to play more, and increase physical activity. Pleasant Hill Elementary is a great example of a school that took that concept and teaching Mississippi history as they learned the distance between, say, Tupelo and South Haven. They were studying Mississippi history. The students would, each time around the school would represent a mile, and you had, a class, and they would make that many loops around the school to correspond with the distance between the cities. And they walked the state, learning about the state and increasing their physical activity. You can't mention healthy foods or more exercise or any of these things that every child, all 32,000 kids, are not aware of. We're raising awareness, we're we're educators, we're teaching children to make better choices.
Rebecca Kelly is the principal at Walz Elementary, and she could not be prouder of her staff and of the students. She speaks of them like they are her own children, and that often spills over into the decisions she makes for the school, like the decision to spend grant money on an outdoor walking track.
I wanted the families to be able to come over and have an area that they could come as a family. The children could play on the playground equipment and the parents could walk if they wanted to, or the children could walk.
For Principal Kelly, it isn't about the grants or the money, it's about the kids and the changes she sees in them.
One important person that I can remember was a little girl. She started, I believe, 2nd grade here. She was obese, and she always wanted to participate in everything, but she had a lot of health issues that went along with that. The assistant PE teacher, he had a stationary bike that somebody gave him. He brought it up here, and if she could not participate in what they were doing, she would get on the stationary bike and ride it. And I saw her grandmother about a month ago. She said she's lost over 50 pounds and said she's just a different child now because of that. And, you know, she was so happy. She said because of what y'all did at Walz, that got her started.
Also high on Principal Kelly's list is providing nutritious and tasty meals for the kids. Believe me, this is not the cafeteria food I was eating as a kid.
We're having spaghetti made with whole wheat pasta. We're having yeast rolls, green beans, sugar cookies, and oranges and bananas.
And what is almost as exciting as the food itself is how the food is actually made. Grants have allowed Walz Elementary to invest in special slicers that make fruit prep a whole lot easier and cleaner. That means it's a heck of a lot easier to get fruit on kids' trays. Grants have also made way for convotherm ovens in many of the cafeterias in the DeSoto County schools, Walz being one of them. These incredible ovens are a fantastic start to solving Mississippi's obesity problem. They use a special method of baking that makes the food taste just like it was fried. So kid favorites like chicken fingers and French fries are still on the menu. They're just a lot healthier than they used to be. Throw in an abundance of whole wheat products and fresh vegetables, and you have a whole new way of eating lunches in school. And, did we mention?
Many of our schools are no fast food zones. They do not allow fast food on the property. Before, parents were bringing, fast food in to have lunch with their children, and it just set a bad example.
PE teacher Allison Taylor got her job at Walz thanks to the new state rules and multiple grants. And she is just as enthusiastic about the children and the changes she's seen over the last 3 years as Principal Kelly and the rest of the administration.
The obese level has gone down in the past 3 years, definitely gone down. I'd say probably when I started, maybe 5% were obese, and probably now 2.5%, maybe 1.5%. So it's definitely gone down. And then my overweight has pretty much tremendously dropped to average or normal.
Coach Taylor strongly believes in what she's doing and thinks the simple rewards for the kids are what keeps them moving.
The testing encourages them. They, love the certificates and stuff that we give out. They get to come up in the honors program and receive their certificate in front of everybody in the school. So it's a really big deal. And
an even bigger deal? How about a world record?
We did have 3 young ladies that have set the world record in the 3-pound hula hoop. And I don't know if y'all ever tried the 3-pound hula hoop, but it is very hard. The first time they broke the record, it was 5 hours and something. The next time it was 6 hours, and the last one it was over 7 hours. And that is the world record.
And with that gauntlet thrown down, I was ready. No elementary school kid was going to beat me.
Dr. Rick, this is the 3-pound hula hoop, and I would love for you to try it with me.
Are you going to show me how to do it?
I sure will.
Okay, so how does this work?
You ready?
All right.
Go.
think I should try again. She's doing it good. How do you keep it up? How do you keep it up, seriously?
Move your hips.
Move your hips.
Move your hips. There you go.
Take a thing back. Clearly not intended to ever step near a 3-pound hula hoop, I'm going to stick to doctoring. But the teachers at Walz Elementary and the DeSoto County School District are another story altogether.
We hope that we're setting an example here that will be life changes for these children.
Once again, our story leads us back to that little house in the middle of a cotton field where Quashunda and her twins will begin working to change their lives. They will have our support and that of the University of Mississippi Medical Center hypertension specialist, Dr. Deborah Miner, and other University of Mississippi Medical Center staff. They have a very long road ahead, one that anyone with any means would struggle with. We'll work with Quashunda on education, knowing her medical history, and how everything affects her health.
Do you know how much sodium is recommended per day for a person with high blood pressure? 1,500 milligrams.
Ooh. We will work to help Quashunda and her family make the right choices when it comes to what they eat and when they eat.
So we've got 2 starchy vegetables and then really a lot of other extra stuff added to the chicken. So does your mom ever bake chicken?
She bake it or broil it, you know.
So in general, that's going to be a little bit healthier way to do that. And you just kind of they'll have to change their taste buds a little bit, get used to that. Because they're not serving fried chicken at school anymore, are they?
It's baked.
Yeah.
Everything they eat is baked. Even the French fries are baked.
And we'll work to make sure these life changes really are just that for Quashunda and her family. Life changes. And we'll support Quashunda every step of the way to make sure she can make those changes. This is just the beginning of a very long journey for Quashunda and for all of Mississippi. In just a few months, we will dig even further into this state crisis. We will talk to experts on obesity to find out exactly what the biochemical problem is and why Mississippians seem so vulnerable to this disease. We'll look at the human body and we'll find out what happens when we eat ourselves to death. The biology is astounding. We'll also look at how some people are getting rid of their extra weight using drastic measures that may be their only chance for survival.
You know, what we tell people is that we're not going to cure this disease because we don't understand it. We're going to give a treatment to the patients, a surgical treatment. It's going to be very effective for a short period of time. And if they can make behavioral changes, if they can learn to exercise and to eat right and to control why they eat and when they eat and what they eat, then they'll have long-term success. If they just rely on the operation, they will ultimately fail because the operation is not a cure, it's just a treatment.
I guess there just comes a point in time in a person's life when you look at where you are and where you want to be. My point was my waist was getting bigger and I just didn't want it to get any bigger. I didn't want to go into a size 50 waist. So I stretched the 48s as much as I could and it was that was the breaking point. It just said no more. I cannot do this anymore. If I continue on this path, I'm going to die at 60 years old.
We're also looking at the role religion does and should play in curing Mississippi of this deadly disease. Is Sunday supper in the fellowship hall the answer? Or should the separation of church and state extend to the dinner table? Mississippians, as a rule, are a faithful group. But can that faith be what changes our future? These are just a few of the stories we'll be looking into over the next several months. Leading up to the next show, we have a homework assignment for you. We can't change Mississippi's future without everyone's participation, without everyone realizing how important this is. First, we ask that you take a good look at the Mississippi Healthy Schools website. The page can be found at www.healthyschoolsms.org. This program is vital to changing our children's futures. Each and every member of the community should hold their schools and teachers accountable for helping our students to be healthy students. On the website, you can read about the programs offered in the schools, and you can read about the requirements for all schools. You can also see how your local schools measure up and cheer on their success. Find out how you can help or how you can get involved. This is an effort for all Mississippians. Next, take a lesson from Dr. Gorton, Quashunda Edwards' doctor. He starts small, trying to encourage patients to drink healthier. Why don't you do the same? Cut back on sugar drinks. Instead, pour another glass of water. Guaranteed. If you're a big soda drinker, you'll drop a few pounds just by losing those sugar drinks. And check out some books on health and healthy eating. A few that I like are The End of Overeating by David Kessler, The Omnivore's Dilemma by Michael Pollan, and Mindless Eating by Brian Wansink. All three will really make you think about what you eat and why you eat it. From all of us here at Mississippi Public Broadcasting, thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Rick DeShazo.
Mississippi's Big Problem, a Southern Remedy special, is funded in part by a grant from the University of Mississippi Medical Center.